So SvelteKit and Remult, full stack apps in minutes. Or I will cheat a bit, but so let's do a little bit of history. Of course, not this history. Few years back, we started doing a lot of websites with backend. Okay, on the backend, we had to model data. We have to build CRUD APIs. You have to do data validation, what you showed a bit here with actions. You have to take care about access control because you don't want everyone to access your API randomly. You have to remove the proxy, yes. You have to deal with an ORM or to do some SQL queries. You have to deal with pagination, sorting, filtering. You do all this in the backend. And then what? Yeah, you still do, yes. So actually, yes, it will annoy me. Then comes a bit the era of front end, because before everything was backend only, and then comes the front end. You know, this Angular started with this, and then React, Vue, Svelte. And in the front end, what we should do? We should do modeling the data. We call some APIs usually. Then we validate data on the front end because we don't want to always wait the go and back to the server. If we know that we need at least 3 characters to enter a title, it's a bit a shame to go to the backend to tell me, oh, I need 3 characters. At the same time, you don't want to do it 2 times the validation because maybe on the backend at the beginning it was 3 and then after it was 10. You need to change it at both places. Then you need authorization because it's nice also to not do a go and back to the server to know if you can do this operation, inserting something or not. Next step, now we have server in the front end. Maybe you are confused, but actually when we speak about SSR, server-side rendering, actually what we do is it's part of the front end, but it's the server part of it. It's not really the backend. It's another concept to have the backend, right? So then for newcomers into JavaScript world, I think it's very confusing this. And then since we have no server in the front end, we have routes to take care of and usually components, okay? And with all this, yes, actually even more complicated, in the front end, you can also have the backend. Now you are completely lost, but it's okay, it will get easier. This is what I called meta framework. So we have this Nuxt, for example, or we have SvelteKit here. And this is a meta framework. And beside this, you could use a library called Remult that will take care of all the redundant things on both sides. So you will see a one-to-one connection between model, backend, and frontend. And the idea is that all this is shared through Remult. And then you have a still few stuff to take care of. And of course, these small stuff to take care of are managed by Remult as well. All right, demo time. Or let's try. So today we will not start from creating a brand application. I already prepared a lot of things. And let's see how far we can go. So I have an application running, or should run, yes. With just one page, the demo. And in the demo page, I can see a few topics. Let's have a look at what is in there. So if I go to my demo folder, plus page.svelte, you can see that I get the Remult library, and I get a repository of tasks. Let's go and look what is the task. So if I go there, a task is an ID and a title. And you see that on top of it, I have some decorator to know or to teach Remult that the ID will be a CUID and the title will be a type string. And just with this, so we can see here on the shared folder task, just with this, I'm able already to see a list of tasks that I defined somewhere. And we will go over this example later. So if I continue a bit on the demo page here, I get the repository. And this repository, I give it to this Remult live. And when I'm in this Remult live, I listen to all the changes that happens, and I limit only to 3 results. and I'm able to get these three items. If I change this here to 4 and I save it, of course, it's maybe better if I put it on the side, I don't know. So just by saving this on the front-end side, it's doing the right call on the backend to give me now 4 items, okay? And we can build on top of this. So to build on top of this. So this is just the demo to show the repo, but I have some pages which are a bit more complex to get into it. It's a model, it's an entity. So now let's go back to the home page and not look at the demo page, but look at the automatic pages. If you look a bit at shared folder, we have task and we have category. And here I can see already the automatic pages coming, task and category. So if I click on task, I'm able to see a list of tasks. We see 7 tasks with a title and a list of tasks here. I said again, we have an ID and a title. And the column title is called title. But let's have a look at the task repository or entity. And over here, I can configure a lot of options, let's say. And one option could be caption, for example. The title. If I manage to do it. If I save that, okay, normally I don't need to refresh, of course. I know I do this on the ID, you don't tell me anything, but come on. Why is he spinning? Probably JavaScript is. I know we found a small issue this morning on my computer. Now it should be good. Okay, so now we have the column name is the title. Why? Because the source of truth is this entity task. I don't want to go in my application and tune this bit right or left. I want everything to be driven from this ID and title on the left here. Then let's add some fields. So a bit of comment, yes. Let's add some fields. So as it looks like a to-do list, let's bring this up. And now we have another kind called a Boolean. And this Boolean have a caption. Is it completed? And now I have already my column coming here. All this is backend, front-end, everything all together. You can see that I have a grid here, and I can already also filter the things by completed, not completed, title, not title. And I have a button create. So if I go and create, I can see the title. Again, I don't need to tune the caption. It's already creating the title. And this is the new to-do. Create. And now the new to-do is coming here. So everything is connected. And all what I need to do is to have these fields in the task. Now, if I created this option, hide in create, but I will remove this option. And when I go to create, I have this option to put it completed or not. You see what I mean? Everything is driven from the entity, and this is the key point. But usually when you have a to-do list, you don't want to say at the beginning that it's completed. It's most probably an item that you want to check later. So let's remove it from here and go back to the task. At this level, so we don't do much, but we will do more and more. I have, let's go directly here, and I have here an attribute that I called with link. So if I put true here, this will become to be a link. And if I click on the link, I go to update task. So it's not only creating a task, now I can update it. And when I go in the edit mode, I have this field and I can say completed or not completed. Okay, so of course the first one was completed because I attended this meetup. The Vienna.js Discover Remult. Yes, I did it in February. And right now I speak a lot with the guys of Remult. because we ported the remote into Svelte and SvelteKit. Actually, they did a lot. I just was here to help a bit to say, I do like this, do like that.
They were just complaining.
Yeah, I was complaining and they were building it, yes. So it's good, but now that we can edit, the thing what we said just before, we want validation. And the validation, we want to have it on both sides, not doing the same thing, the same code twice, right? So what I will do, I will just copy all this title to be a bit faster, maybe. I will grab everything together. And now if I edit this, actually I will go to mine. Sorry, task, the new to do. And in the new to do, I edit. And now if I remove everything, you see that the placeholder is be creative. Why? Because I set it here, placeholder be creative. And now we can see on top here that we have a validate array where we see the task is required. We need at least 1 character. And we need at least 3 characters to say it's too short. So if I just update like this, it will tell me, oh, it's required. If I go 1 character, update, it's too short. But now you wonder maybe, oh, and on the backend, maybe there is some rules that you cannot have 2 times the same task. Then you have a validator for that called unique on backend. But you can also create your own validator, running some SQL queries or everything. Again, this is my source of truth. Now, everywhere in my app, this will be taken into account. So let's go back to, let's just cancel, come back to full task. What else I want to show you? So let's now add 2 other things. What I would like to get is a due date and a priority. Again, I add on my entity that I will have a date. It's a date only, not a date time. Okay. The caption will be due date because it's meaningful for users. And the default due date is something very nice. Right now, plus 7 days. Maybe there is a shorter version to do this, but this is my way of doing plus 7 days. And then just under, I have a task priority. And here I have to specify that the input type is a select. You know, it's a bit different in HTML. It cannot be an input. So if now I go to the new to do and I come here, edit, it's grabbing a list of priority. I can put high, update, and it's all updated. And all this is going to this task priority where I define the low, high, critical, and what is in the caption when I have my select. Again, everything driven from my entity. Cool. Now, what about this authentication or authorization? Now, I was not logged in anything, and I was able to do every update, which is maybe not so cool. So to enable, we need to teach Remult who is connected. To do this, I would go to this hook server, and I will underload. This is coming from, let's go and have a look. I don't know if you use this Auth Core. It's a great library. I recommend you to check it. You can use it with Google Authentication. I mean, a lot of authentication factor, and you can do also login password, and you can actually do also just login. So which what I will do right now. So we'll have 2 users, admin and myself. Of course, I will be the admin. And then on Remult, we just need to tell him how to get the user. So to get the user, actually, so on the auth library, it will go into a cookie, and then we put it in the session. And in the Remult, we will just look at the session and put the user into it. So now what I save this, and I need probably another thing. Let's close everything. I need a third thing is to uncomment this. If I'm not authenticated, I need to go to this page, sign in. On the right side, perfect. And I even have a hint to know how should I connect. So let's start with admin. If I connect, very good. I see the list of tasks, but I still can create. Now let's have a look on how, so in task, I want to say the whole task activity, the whole task entity, I want to allow insert only for admin. Yes. And now it disappeared, the button create. Why? Just because I'm not an admin guy. You remember I put it the admin just for my role. So if I click on admin, log out, connect here, KYC, hop, I have the create button. And all this with a simple option. And this enable the root to be okay, not okay. It enable also the front end to put the link or not. So everything driven from the entity here.
It is fixed remote.
Yes. Okay. So all these options are here, and you might think, did the guy or the guys creating this, did they think about everything? Because it looked like they think about a lot, but did they think about everything? Probably not. But actually, the thing is that you can go in app.d.ts and you can say, field option, I want to extend, and you saw this hide in create. I think that it makes a lot of sense to have this hide in create, and you can add it to your own object. So you can extend what they did. And to have this, where was it? The placeholder. By default, they didn't think about the placeholder. Actually, yes, it's in their doc, so it's probably the way to show the functionality, but it's a good way to extend the library. You just add more things, and you have a lot of things baked in already. So what I wanted to show you more, so you have this ordering. All this is working directly out of the box. Here demo. I didn't show you the most beautiful part. So let's close everything. All the data that you are seeing here are stored in one place. And to start, very easy, it's stored here in almost your secure database, right? That you showed before. So here we have a task JSON, and this task JSON, if I come here, for example, the first one, and I say edit, hi, update, and my database is updated. Great. But this is not going to a professional level. Let's say how you deploy a real website like this. You cannot. So to do this, you will go in this handle remote. So it's where to configure remote. And you will say, oh, my database provider is a PostgreSQL database. So you uncomment this and you just tell him my connection string is in the database URL. And that's it. Now, if I save this, I have only one entry because in my database I had only one test. But let's have a quick look at my database. Where is it? Let's say use this. It's Vienna. And here I have these categories and tasks, which are my two entities. But what he created, the migration script and everything, when you start to have a database, it's a bit more complicated. So what I will do is I will just delete everything. Okay. And I will simply navigate or F5 here on the website to show what's going on. And if I refresh, nothing is going on. It's not intended. Enter schema. What's going on? Yes, no. It's coming. So with this plugin, create Postgres connection is looking at your entities and adding all the columns. You can manually do the schema migration if you want to, but by default, it will add everything. If you delete something, it will not drop anything, just in case you did something wrong. But if you want to delete it, you can do it in a manual script later on. So this is the only thing I needed to do a Postgre database connecting with all my entities. So now I go back here, task, create, I have v1, enter, now everything is good. I can also, whoops, it was not obvious maybe at the beginning, create a second tab here, create, second to do, create, and it will refresh on the other side. So everything, there is a SSE in the background, server-side event, to push the event right and left. So everyone connected to the view will get the same data, always synchronized. And all this out of the box with just this repo live listen. That's it. All right, we already looked at a lot of things, right? Order by, filtering, grid, form, database. Yeah, so maybe the next idea is just to go on this website. And there you have the exact same code, and you will be able to see, hopefully, the live stuff coming up. Whoops. Actually, since it's a free version, I'm not sure it's up and running. So the first one going there, wait a bit that it's spin up. It's local. Maybe I generated the QR code with localhost. I don't know. Yeah. But basically, that's it. So if you have any question while you are connecting there, I'll be happy to answer them.
Remult is basically model handler.
It starts with the model, yes, and then extending with all the functionality around that I showed, the validation, authorization. You don't need to check everything. Everything is already checked, tested, validated, and everything.
And UI, is it coming with Remult or did you create?
Today, Remult has no UI, so you are free to do what you want. You like Tailwind, you do Tailwind. You don't like Tailwind, you don't do Tailwind. Probably in the near future, I will bring something on top dedicated to SvelteKit to style everything by default. So here I used Daisy UI. I don't know if for some people know about it. I think it's pretty good to start, to kick off a project. The problem is that it's only CSS driven. And it's a wish from the creator, which is good. But then we have all the accessibility missing. So I'm trying right now to look at all the accessibility libraries, and it's difficult to make a choice. Yeah. I didn't speak about GraphQL, but if you ask me about GraphQL, for sure, let's go there. I didn't even do it in purpose, you know. I didn't write it there. Woo! So you have one task there, or? But you don't see each other, or what? Ah, okay, good. It's working. So let's have a look at the. Yeah, it is prepared. It's just I didn't think about it. And let's have a look 2 minutes, because it's not because I do Remult that I forgot completely my past about GraphQL, because here what I show you is only non-GraphQL. Of course, since I love GraphQL, we need to have a small look into this. So here what I showed you is that when you look at a task, you focus on the task. When you look at the category, so I didn't show you, but it's the same principle, both with the database, so there is nothing. Got one, enter, and then it's the same thing, right? But all these generate also a GraphQL schema. So if I come here and I do task and I do total count, items, title. If I run this, I ran my second to do and hi everyone. You know what? Let's go back just to non-database. So you see how complex it is to have no database now. Save, and I'm back to my JSON data. So also in testing, it makes things very, very efficient and fast. Let's remove it. So now with Remult by default, yeah, getting the list of items is very easy. But what if I want to get the category? No. Of course, I didn't have my full demo here. 1 second. So in Remult as well, you can add some relations between entities. And now the relation will be to add a category. I need to refresh here. Category. So each to-do or task has a category. And now if I get the name, whoops, and I run this, I see that the new to-do had none because we didn't specify anything. But here I have this release Remult in the category name Remult. Okay, so now you can start merging multiple entities and in a very complex way. So for example, here I would like to see in the category, if I go here, I have the list of tasks. So I can loop, but the looping would not make a lot of sense. But I could maybe get the number of tasks that are inside this one. So in Remult, we have 3 apparently tasks into this category. And now it starts to make sense. And to build the front end on this, it would be like you put this Remult and you put a little bracket 3 maybe. And like this, when you click on there, you can have a list with the 3 items. I mean, you can imagine a lot of scenarios. And of course, you could do this with regular calls, API calls. But in GraphQL, it's one query, and you also discover, this is the thing that I love as well, the ability to discover the fields. So it's very easy to go there. And you saw live here, I added the category. The GraphQL know now that there is a category, and it's coming here, and it's coming with all the benefits, with the filtering, with the ordering. So if I go here, order by ID, but if I can go here, control space, where total count is like this or like that, or I can also go here and say, I want to go on page 3. If I have 1,000 items, I want to go to page 3, 4, 5. So all pagination is already baked in. So very good question. GraphQL is still there. And of course, so this was GraphQL to show you the interface. And now I have tasks. And here in task, I have just Houdini doing the call and getting this. And if I click here, I go to the edit, which is the same as before. So I think that I'm actually right now exploring the way of mix and matching GraphQL and plain REST API, where it makes sense to just change a form, because maybe it doesn't make sense there or here. I'm playing around with this. Another GraphQL question or remote question?
So what is this replacing actually?
Replacing. So today in my daily job, I build apps, company apps, which are dealing with a lot of CRUD operation. This will replace most of my code because one source of truth and because also of security. I mean, on my end, it's not a big deal, the security, because it's on a private network. But here to make sure that you have allow only for admin, I don't think about anything else, it's done. So no problem. On my end, since it's not the focus on the app, I don't really care about this. So here I will benefit for free actually about this. So
yeah, maybe one question. You kind of showed in the beginning of the presentation that it kind of takes over responsibilities from the backend. How do you integrate that into SvelteKit? Is that through the hooks or?
Yeah, so I have here hook server.
Okay. And
by default, so I handle auth with this library.
Yeah.
Then this handle Remult, this is the part where it initiate the route /API /tasks everything. And then as soon as you have one more entity, then it will add up into there, and that's it. Of course, you can customize if you don't want /API, but you want /Remult. This is all configurable. And then you have my handle GraphQL, which is based on this. By the way, we should always use sequence in a hook, please. Yes. Possible. Yeah, it was the creator of this library, Remult. And actually it was on the, where is it? Boom, task. It was on the 22nd of February. And at the end of the talk, I went to see the guy and I thought that this is amazing because I would not need to write a lot of code. I will just use this. And so the day after 23, I did a PR to port this into SvelteKit. I told the guy, your talk is amazing. I will do something on SvelteKit. The day after, it was okay. It was a draft, but in the end, so a few months after, then it's a release of Remult and SvelteKit. And now we are playing around Remult and GraphQL, which should come out any day soon, tomorrow. I mean, this week. I don't know when. Oh, everything is open source, yes. Yeah, actually today it's mainly on React. They have also Angular binding. They have also Vue binding. So since I'm a bit biased into Svelte, I looked a lot into Svelte. But yeah, they have it to a lot of things. By the way, you can also add it on an existing project beside an existing project. You don't have to be 100% remote to start remote. You can just be on the side, create one or two entities, playing around, and that's it. Progressively enhance your app, yes.
Maybe one question from my side, because you said add it to an existing one. Is there a way to like import an existing database schema into Remult?
Yes. So you have another package that introspect a Postgre database, for example, and generate all the entities. So it generated what he can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, the caption, for example, since the caption or the label is not in the database, then you will not have it. But at least it's doing maybe 80% of the job. And this is what I did for my project, actually. So I have everything in a Postgre database. I just point to it and I say, please create all the entities. Boom. And now I can start with this and play around and yeah, that's nice. Good question. You will have to ask the guy. Actually, I think I asked already, but I don't remember the answer.
Basically use it as some sort of raw ORM, or let's say just obtain the data, but not use the UI and just test the data, right?
Somehow it's what I'm doing here. You see, task categories.
Yeah, but this was basically done by Remult as well. But like the creation of those pages, or
I mean, I just need to add here another one. Should I do it live? It's maybe wrong. Huh?
What can go wrong?
Yup. I do yup. What else should I do? Nothing else. Save. Entities, I need to add it here. The list of entities. Yup. What would be the... I don't know.
Import yup.
Yes. Maybe I should do real naming. Oh, it even stopped the server. Okay, very good. What? This is I know. The copy pasting is not good actually. I think that it was saving us time, but no. It's because now I have my task priority defined twice, I think.
Categories for two words.
No, I think now should be good. Live demo. No. So maybe you can have a dinner and I'm staying here. Wait, let's just now task priority. Let's just do like this. Please, Yop, do your job. What are you doing? It's already here. Of course. We said it's Yops. No? Someone help me. By the way, this is a GraphQL error. If I remove GraphQL, it's maybe working. That's called task order cannot be there twice. Okay. Completely wrong. It's good. Like we didn't release the GraphQL one. But this one is good. What did I forget? No,
You have export const get repo if you're missing jobs 15, 150. Entity.
no, this is just typing. Who cares about typing? Yeah, but also typing. No, let's. It's maybe because of this. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Let's also remove my beauty GraphQL. No. What is he doing? It is a Houdini issue. No? Ah, yes. Do I need to put more? Hopefully the Remult guy will not see this. So now we have Yops. And Yop has the title. So everything works out of the box. Of course, you don't need my GraphQL stuff. I mean, it will work. It's just that we have a small bug that we had the same title and then it would not able to recreate the same file. But okay, never mind. But it could be like a small CRUD operator for on top of your database,
Yeah,
like an admin tool. Yeah.
I was just thinking, like maybe, for example, I already have the UI and I just want to kind of switch out maybe what I had before Remult and then kind of populate my UI that I already have the Remult data.
Yeah, because this is only the backend. The front end, what I showed here, it's me creating it. So it's on top of Remult. You can do what you want there. So you have what in the backend today?
I was just
Okay. We never know if Sentry moves to this.
How are you querying this? How are you querying this? Does it have some built-in ORM or how?
Yeah, so I will not do it live.
Okay.
But yeah, there is already, so inside it, there is already a lot of method created by Remult. If you want to, you can use Next also. I don't know if you know this SQL well-known thing.
It doesn't make sense to use Prisma with it, for example, or does it provide multiple things with Prisma?
Yeah, I think you don't need Prisma because where Prisma would be limited, you would do it in this native way. And you didn't see me creating any Prisma.create or something, so there is no need. Okay. Thank you then.